Me llamo Elisa, soy de los Estados Unidos y estudio en Radford University, estudio español y antropología y este verano fui al Perú para Rare. Archaeology is really the thing that I'm interested in, so I am interested in stuff that's usually like under the ground, it's been buried for a little bit. The soil is really acidic, those things don't last, they don't preserve. In the Amazon, the soil is really acidic, and there's been some research that the Amazon has had a lot more indigenous people than originally thought, but it's really hard to find their sites because the Amazon is so thick. I was thinking it'd be great if we could find a way to find a site just based on the elements in the soil. So my first steps were collecting the soil. I ran a transect across a large space in Lucerna, which was the town closest to the station. And I just ran a transect through about half of the town. And it started in primary forest, it moved to the secondary forest, and then it moved through Lucerna. It moved through the soccer field, right in front of the school, right in front of a bathroom area, and it ran all the way up to the road. And so I collected all of those samples, I labeled them, then I took them back to the station where they dried for about a day. I used this machine called an XRF machine, and it basically kind of looks like a little gun, and it bombards the sample with x-rays, and then different elements fluoresce back at a different rate. So the machine records how much bounces back and at what rate, and then it'll tell you how many parts per million of the various elements are in that sample. So I did that, and then I also did a test on phosphorus to see how much phosphorus was in the sample. I did a texture sample to see what the texture of the soil was. I did a pH sample, and I also did a color just to show exactly what color it was using a Munsell soil color book. Now that I'm back, it's basically going to be statistical work. I'm going to try to see if I can tell a difference in the pH, parts per million of specific elements, and the phosphorus levels. And I want to try to see if they go up in the human habitated areas versus the natural soil. And I can already tell based on the data that I've collected that the pH definitely does change, which I expected. So the pH was around 5 to 5.5 in the natural jungle, and then when you move to a human habitated area it goes up to 7. As soon as you're back in the primary forest it goes back down to about 5. I learned a lot about the culture, and I learned a lot about how they think. Things are similar in different countries. They all kind of face similar issues. Before, I thought that a lot of problems that plagued the US were specific to the US, and that really made me realize that almost every country has the same problems. I just made friends in the language, which is really great. Honestly, the point in studying a language is to be able to communicate with people. So the fact that I was able to communicate really effectively with others, to me, means that I reached my goal in being a Spanish major.